I hope we're all doing okay. It's late news, as you can see, it's 11th of May. Like, we're a month on from this. I meant to say it at the time, but I didn't get time to. And I've been doing my GCSEs since like the 17th. So I don't really have too much time. My last one was on Friday. So after Friday, I'm 100% putting my work into this. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a bit on this story because I've put my 2 cents into it with a couple of people, and they actually find my take quite interesting. Apparently, I was gonna mention it, but didn't have time to. So, the apprenticeship scheme could allow 1 in 10 doctors to start work without a traditional medical degree straight after their A-levels. A third of nurses are also expected to be trained under the radical new approach. The news stirred a passionate debate among Telegraph readers, with many sharing their own experiences of being trained for the medical profession. Basically, we are going to, because the NHS, of course, as we all know, understaffed, bad conditions to work in, I've heard. Understaffed, you can barely ever get an appointment anywhere. So, to combat this, we are going to get underqualified students to be doctors. Or 1 in 10 unqualified right after their A-levels, which couldn't go wrong at all, right? A young kid pretending to be a doctor would be an utter menace to patients and to themselves. All nurses and doctors should start their career by spending 6 months in a ward. I'll just see if there's anything else to add to that one. Nope. I doubt anything could go wrong with putting unqualified children in hospital wards. The ridiculous A-level requirement for admission to medical schools at present excludes too many able candidates. Problems in the NHS need to be dealt with by a complete overhaul and reform, not by reducing the entry requirements. Right. You can see lots of people are unaccepting of this, myself included. I mean, yeah, if you're not qualified to treat someone, don't do it. My take on it is from a probably strange angle of, let's look through history. The amount of people who have gone into the medical industry, the NHS, and ended up committing murder, it's quite a lot. And there's many cases which are very known. For example, Harold Shipman. Now, Harold Shipman qualified. He received a B in physics, I believe it was, a C in biology, and something else. It was a B in physics, C in biology, and C in chemistry. Those for his A-levels. So they're not the best, but they qualified. Not by a long shot, but it qualified to be to train into medical. So he got accepted into Leeds School of Medicine. He ended up killing up to potentially 215 people. An example as to, obviously this was back in the day, but reducing the qualifications for a doctor nowadays. They are quite high, I believe. However, straight after A-level is probably way too little. Potentially, it could increase that. Another case. Jane Toppan. I've forgotten her real name. She ended up killing at least approximately 31 of her patients. She forged her credentials to get into the medical field. Beverly Allitt, which I think a lot of people would know, or at least have heard of. She had very few qualifications. She didn't excel in school. She received an O-level, which was food and nutrition. She received, was it 4 CSEs, which is like foundation level GCSEs. English, maths, French, and biology. And eventually she ended up going onto a course for nursing. This course for her nursing made her Munchausen syndrome worse. So Munchausen is when you harm yourself for attention. She ended up developing Munchausen by proxy, which is when you hurt someone else for attention. So for her, it was making her patients sick and then doing everything in her power to help them. When, they survived, she got all of the praise. When they died, she also got the praise because she did everything in her power that she could to try and help them. She would cause the patients to overdose, I believe. A lot of these patients were children as well. Charles Cullen, he dropped out of high school. He went into the US Navy, but ended up being in the psychiatric ward for a lot of the time. He was put on there on multiple occasions. So he was discharged from the Navy. I couldn't find out as to why, I couldn't see as to why. It probably is there somewhere. Then he graduated in 1984 for nursing. It's just a different sort of aspect to, just thinking, right, kids probably shouldn't be in nursing. It's also, in my opinion, it's going to make it much easier for these crimes that we've seen in the past to occur. Especially with, the generation nowadays, there are a lot of troubled kids, especially coming out of lockdown. They all have anxiety, depression. A lot of them I know for a fact, because I know my own age. I've met a lot of people. I know that they can be very sadistic. So yeah, that's just my take on it. You don't have to agree with me. I would love to hear your opinions on it. Apparently it's a very interesting aspect of it. I personally, I do believe that letting underqualified people go into the medical industry will cause more things like this. But I guess we'll see. Again, it was an odd story as well, which I do apologise for. So, yeah, take care everyone.